Right, so this evening I've been playing around with this thing. Continuation of the MC145170 modification. And basically I've got the radio encoder working now. I've got it working quite nicely. So you can see I've got a display running off here. So I've got the Arduino running everything. Right, so it's running the display, it's running the PLL. And it is working, so that's where I want it to be. So channel display stuff is not finished yet, but it is. I want to set up bands, and I've done. You can see the brightness changing as I'm changing channels. I've got a single resistor on each digit. I'm multiplexing the display, so all these loops between the digits. So there's only actually 9 lines going to that display to run it, and that's off the Arduino. So I've actually still got some spare pins, which is great. So you can see it's changing around. Now this is velocity controlled, so my controller keeps popping out the board. Right, so it is velocity controlled. So if I go to a channel below what I've programmed in it so far, it gives an error. Right, but also I've got step sizes available. Right, so you push it, and it's 50 kilohertz, 5 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz, 25 kilohertz. Right, and it's just loops around those. So you can choose what step size you want. So if you want a 5 kilohertz step to get in between channels, or you want, that offset, you got it. It doesn't display it on display. Unfortunately, this display, although it's got a decimal point position, it doesn't actually have a decimal point. I'm not quite sure what the story is there, unless I'm missing something. But sorry, this just keeps popping out the ball. But yeah, I've also got velocity control. So if the faster you turn it, the more it goes up and down by. So you actually turn it a little bit, and it will jump heaps, depending on how fast you turn it. Right, so I've got velocity control, so you have to turn it like 4 steps, and it will jump, 50, kind of thing. It depends on how fast you're turning it, so I've got that working as well. I've also got it so it saves the last channel, and it saves the step size. So whatever step size you set, it will save that when you power it down, and the same for the channel. I've got it set to delay, so it doesn't save immediately to reduce the wear and tear on EEPROM. I've got it set after 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, it will save the channel, current channel. So if I do a reset, it will come back on channel 6. There you go. All right. And if I say channel 10, wait a little while. I've got it running serial to my computer as well through the USB, so I can see what it's doing. Just waiting for it to pop up. There we go. Now it's saved it. I can reset. Channel 10. Right. So that's all working. That aspect of it. Menu-wise, I will be adding to this. Just a bit awkward in this bloody board. I really need to get a little PCB made for this. So I do want to have menu in here, and I want to actually have it so instead of just so you can actually push it and turn it, and I'll give you a band. So you can push it and turn and get like a band A through the band H or something, and then it'll still have those channels like 1 to 40, but in set up in bands. And I want to do things like have it so it's, you can VFO it, so it's so as you go from 1, when you go down low, it'll go to 40 of the band below, it'll just go right through, or have it settable to stay within that band. That's an option I want to put into it as well. So I've got to build the menu system up for it properly, but the only menu I've got so far is this steps, and that's just incredibly simple, that part of it. Alright, so that's what that's really doing right now, and so I do want to put menus in here, and I've got the basic structure there for doing that. It just isn't functioning. I haven't built that bit yet, it's not written. The main thing I've been doing today is getting the encoder behaving, getting it working right, getting the velocity control working nicely, getting the display working. Obviously when I actually go to do this display, I'll have to do individual resistors to each segment, rather than just these 2 to each one, because you got this brightness difference. But that's, this is just for testing purposes only, for now. But yeah, you've got the velocity control, so it goes up to 99 right now, then it will stop. It won't go any further than that on display. The actual encode goes below that, above that, but it's not going further than that on display. I'm undecided as yet whether I'm going to do a 3-digit display on the radios. What I'd like to do is keep it on the original display, but that does restrict the menu system and that kind of thing, and make it a little bit harder to use in some ways, potentially. But I mean, I've got this encoder part working beautifully. That's working nice. But yeah, I mean, I figured out I can manually tell a digit to be, a letter instead, for bands. So I can do like A, B, C, and up to H for bands on a digit. I've got a program already that I can do that, but I haven't actually set up the band part of it yet. So yeah, it's all going quite well. Yeah, I mean, it's all working beautifully, so I just need to basically play around with it and tidy up this mess. I mean, I've got some debouncing in the software for the encoder, but I found that wasn't enough. So I mean, I can do it with bigger delays, but it slows down the responsiveness of the encoder. So I've got it both in software and in hardware. I've got debouncing in 2 different ways. So it just makes the encoder much more responsive. I mean, you can see how nicely that is. That just skims through those channels really quickly. With the velocity control. So that's working really nicely. So I had to use a combination of both types of debouncing in order to get that effect. Because if I did one or the other, it worked, but it was nowhere near as responsive. So doing a combination and just tweaking the timings and that sort of thing on the software side, I was able to get that kind of responsiveness out of it. So I'm quite happy with that. Some of the stuff you can do on this board, man, it's just an old chip which is just sitting there in bits and pieces. But this is basically what I'm using this half year. So yeah, so it's coming along. I mean, that's working. That's controlling the radio. It's controlling the channels. It's saving it. So the fundamentals are now there. And that's the hard bit done. But yes, I'm undecided about how I'm going to do this display. I've got 3 options to display. So I can use the original channel selector. I can do a replacement, original channel display, a replacement 3-digit channel display, which I've ordered some of. I quite like the idea of doing 3 digits. I'm just hoping the display is actually small enough to fit. That would be nice, because then you can actually have a band displayed as well as a channel number at the same time. The other option is to do an alphanumeric display, which will mean I won't be able to do it in this method anymore. I mean, this is multiplexed straight off the Arduino. There's no driver. All right, no driver used. So it reduces components. I'm going to be using a different Arduino. This is just my prototyping one I use for messing around with the but I will be using a different Arduino to do it, and it's all going to be much smaller than this. It's going to be tiny. It's going to be a tiny board. It's going to be quite impressive. So I can also use alphanumeric displays, which are harder to get and a bit more expensive. I have ordered some, so I probably will do some radios with that. But if you do alphanumeric, it means doing menus and stuff on the display on the radios is much easier. However, it requires more control lines. I think it requires an extra 6 segments. I believe they need. I believe it's 6 segments. I have to check, but they need a lot more control, which means I won't be able to do it this way. I'd have to use a actual driver for the display if I go that route. But yeah, this has proved my concept anyway. So I know that I can drive a display straight off the Arduino using multiplexing. And I can minimise the part count in that way, and it works fine. So 2-digit display will, I mean, I've written the software to handle 3 digits. I can just some minor tweaks. It's got the ability to add a 3rd digit onto it, I haven't got that actually in there right now because otherwise it just wouldn't work right. But the actual it's got the ability to do it. It'd only mean one more output pin off the Arduino, and I've got a spare one, so I can actually run 3 digits straight off the Arduino, multiplexed. I found the timing where I started to see flickering on the digits was about 12 milliseconds. That's when I started to see flickering. So I've got this currently running at 1 millisecond. So even if I double that time, it's still way above the flickering rate. So it'll still be fine, I believe anyway. So yeah, that's for that part. It's all coming on quite nicely. It's just very messy. So I think what I'll probably be doing next is building this onto a PCB and building a proper display up, and getting rid of all this ugliness, and the same thing for this encoder. That we need to go onto PC. It keeps on falling out the board, so I need to put it onto a PCB and tidy it up. And I'll probably just put it on the same piece of perf board actually, just put on a bit of perf and do that, and carry on playing around with it. But the actual functionality is there. I just need to do the software now and get all the finer points done and get the menu system sorted out, and sort out the band control, that kind of thing. This can do everything. This one encoder, I figured out all the ways I want to do it. Like for changing bands, what I want to do is actually push it and turn it. So when it's pressed and turned, you'll change bands. So you can step up and down through bands like that. Right now it's just doing the steps. But I know I can actually check for a long press instead of a short press, and if it's a long press, then it will allow me to change bands. If I'm halfway through a step and I change, if it's on a 5k step, it might be a bit funny with a digit. It might go up and down one a little bit. This is wiggling the board, so it's probably missing some from bouncing. But yeah, it's working alright. Anyway, I'm waffling. Progress is good. The code is now, how many lines is that? Oh, 1 second. It's now 850 lines of code. Defpom. So give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. I'm going to keep doing more videos as I go through each stage, and I'll probably flick through the code. I mean, I don't mind sharing this because it is a complicated thing to build. Not everyone's capable of doing it. If you are capable of doing it, then you can build it yourself anyway without seeing what I've done. You know, so I probably will share what I've done and risk the potential of people copying it, I suppose. But like I say, if you're capable of copying it, then you're capable of building it in the first place. You know, it's not that hard. It's just understanding what you're doing and just tweaking each little section. You know, as yeah. Anyway, that's enough waffling for now. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down, sure. But tell me why. Put a comment. Tell me why down there. I want to know why you don't like it. It's no good giving thumbs down if you don't tell me why. Otherwise it's pointless. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one.